You're listening to KPFT Houston. Catch us right here, KPFT at 90.1 on the dial. If you're down in Galveston, we can always be picked up at 89.5. Up in the Piney Woods, the Huntsville area, 91.9. It's time for Songwriter Studio. I'm your host, Tom Tranchilla, and it's my honor, after introducing my engineer, Mr. Lloyd Daniel. Thank you, Lloyd. Week after week since we've been back from the pandemic, setting us up here in Songwriter Studios. Thank you. We love you. And in the studio with us, we have an engineer and a songwriter, two of my favorites, Mr. Frank Gilligan and Joe Gavito. How's it going, guys?
Very good, sir.
It's been a while.
I know.
Yeah. You haven't been on the show in quite some time, I guess back when Silver Dollar was released.
Yeah, that's about the time.
5-6 years ago, and we were in the 419 Lovett building at the time. And
yes, sir.
Here we are in Songwriter Studios now. You've got some great new music that I haven't even heard yet. You've been working on, Joe. Tell us a little bit about the tracks you brought in today.
Well, Frank's brought in some new stuff that he's kind of, I guess, moving on or growing in his songwriting ventures, and he's doing some. We have the argument about blues or doo-wop, and
well,
that's you know.
Let's just say the genres are kind of widening.
Yeah, he's getting more rockier. He's let me loose, like the one we just released in Ireland's a little more rockier, to a certain extent, more than the country was on the first one. So
and the Silver Dollar album was actually my album of the year that year. I always feature my favorite record of the year at the last show of the year, late December, and Silver Dollar there was no question. It was one of the best albums that I'd ever received from any of the artists. And not only was the songwriting, the vocals, the guitar work. Joe, you did basically all the work on there with the exception of the acoustic stuff that Frank did.
No,
is that correct?
Actually, Joe did the acoustics stuff as well.
Oh, really?
Okay. Sure.
Yeah, I did.
I think we had one Tom Tranchilla play on one of these tracks on the new stuff.
Oh, not much of, but I appreciate you guys bringing me in for it.
Our pleasure.
I truly do. And before we get started on the new material, which I'm excited about, I haven't heard any of the songs yet, but I do want to feature 3 of the tracks off the Silver Dollar record that we're going to start the show out with. But let's go a little bit into your history briefly. You were the founder or one of the founders of Mason-Dixon, which formed what year? Let's go back a little bit.
Well, to be official, we started in 1975 in Beaumont, Texas. We were a duo, myself and Rick Henderson. The name Mason-Dixon comes from me being, fresh out of New York City. I was still talking with the New York accent, And so we picked the name Mason-Dixon and entered the Ted Mack Amateur Hour at Lamar University. It was a show that Ted Mack was traveling around with. And we came in second place, and boy, the rest is history. We took it to Houston that summer, and we took on a third member, Jerry Dengler, in the late 70s. And then we picked up some local guys like Joe Gavito and Pat Hunt and Steve Anderson, and did a full band thing. And then, we went on the road in the early '80s and started making records in 1983 or so, and eventually wound up on Capitol Records in the late '80s.
I was going to say you signed with a major label then, so yeah, you couldn't get it much better than with Capitol Records.
We had a good track record with indie. We had like the first top 40 indie record, top 40 Billboard on the independent charts. But, getting over to Capitol Records, it was a nice little feather in our cap. It was exciting.
When you signed with Capitol, did you actually go to the studios in Los Angeles?
No, it was all Nashville-based.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Moving forward, I think it was Joe, you told me some years ago when you heard Frank's songs that ended up on Silver Dollar, you said, we've got to get these recorded.
Well, we had been working, doing some songs before that. He wrote for some weddings, for his nephew's wedding, And then he started talking about wanting to do a CD, and he wasn't sure if I was up to it. So we tried one.
Up for it, not up to it. I know he's up to it.
Okay, well, he didn't know what was going to come out of my studio.
Yeah.
So I forgot which one we did first, but we did one, and he decided to do everything there. So I was trying to get him back in the studio at that time, is to do stuff. To record what he's written.
There was quite a lag time between appearances on stage for me. Almost 20 years, before I did anything gainfully as a performer. So you could say 2012, 2013 really I entered the Songwriter Serenade down there in Moravia, Texas, and I won that, and that just started going. That was Kerrville the next year, and then Wildflower the next year. So the universe was telling me that I should probably get back into performing. So I did.
Well, the lyrics on this whole album are stellar from beginning to end, and I've told you before, this album is one of my favorites. Let's go ahead and jump into a couple of the tracks off that, and then we're going to get into your new stuff.
Cool.
We'll start with the title track right now, Silver Dollar.
Silver Dollar.
Give the listening audience just a little background on this song.
Well, I think as far as a message, it's one of the best songs I've ever written. A friend of mine had a silver dollar from 1890, and in showing it to a group of us, he said, "Can you imagine how many hands this has passed through since 1890? Because it was worn smooth, but you could still read In God We Trust, and you could still read across the top E Pluribus Unum, which he explained was Latin for from the many, one. But he said, what it really means is we're all in this together." And I thought, that's quite a message. And next day, that song was born.
Let's listen to the title track right now. Silver Dollar, Frank Martin Gilligan.
Was an old, worn and faded 1890 silver dollar. When he handed it to me, he said, "I hope you treat it well. But if it could talk about the places that it's been to, you would be amazed at all the stories it could tell. How it started out in a saddlebag of a cowboy in Montana. One summer mending fences, it became his first day's pay. Spent it on a new shirt to impress a rancher's daughter. How many other young hearts did it help along the way? It was hidden in the pocket of a young Kentucky soldier who carried it for luck in the war to end all wars. When the fight was over, he gave it to another who needed a little something and a little something more. In 100 years it's been handled by a million saints and sinners, but in God we trust can still be read even after all this time. And across the top it says that we are all in this together. We are one though we are many, and that's how we all survive. Was it wasted on a broken dream or another glass of whiskey? Was it taken by a stranger at the wrong end of a gun? Was it in the offering in church on Sunday morning to remind us what he gave us when he gave his only son? It might help if we could see ourselves as shiny silver dollars. As we travel through this world, are we a blessing or a curse? Most of us are worn and a little rough around the edges. It shouldn't be so hard to see what we all are worth. In 100 years it's been handled by a million saints and sinners, but in God we trust can still be read even after all this time. And across the top it says that we are all in this together. We are one though we are many, and that's how we all survive. We are one though we are many, and that's how we all survive.
Frank Martin Gilligan, title track, Silver Dollar, with a little help from Joe Gavito playing fine guitar on that.
Thank you.
You know, you recorded all this, it's hard to believe, in a home studio. This sounded like it came right out of Nashville.
Oh, man, thank you
You've
very
got
much.
a real gift
Thanks.
for engineering and quality sound. We're going to move on. We're going to play a couple more tracks off of this and get into the brand new stuff. You picked this out, and very first time I heard it, I thought, my gosh, Sarah Golden you brought in for this track.
Right.
Let's talk a little bit about Things Don't Ever Stay the Same.
You know, started writing this song like in 1990, and it had a bluegrass tempo to it, but it sounded too much like a song that Holly Dunn had out at the time, so I shelved it for a while. Then I just changed it into a kind of a bluesy tempo, and it just changed the whole complexion of the song. And of course, we heard Sarah. We played a little thing out of Do-Si-Do and Magnolia, and had to get something for her to sing with. And so we picked that.
You couldn't have picked just any woman to sing this.
She's something
it had
else.
to be. She's perfect for the song. Her dialect, her tone, her vibrato just fit the song like a glove. It was a great decision on your part. And Joe, we talked about this before the show. The instruments you used. You've got so much creativity going on. Just tell the listening audience a little bit about what instruments you brought in for this.
Well, just basically the papoose was the main star of it, I guess.
You might want to explain what a papoose is.
A papoose was a guitar made by, what was the name of that company?
Oh, man.
Tacoma?
Yes.
Tacoma, yeah.
Tacoma Papoose. Fender bought the company and, of course, closed the factory. But they were travel guitars. They were designed by George Gruen. And designed to put... the specifications of the guitar itself is very similar to a guitar with a capo on the 5th fret. So the neck width, everything is like 5th fret up. So
and it sounds a little bit like a resonator.
It does. It's got a banjo... mandolin kind of tone at times with it. It's especially the one I have, because it's the rosewood back and sides. Man, it just barks. It barks at you. It's just very, very tone. I got a mahogany one that's not quite as expressive.
Well, I just thought the tone for this was perfect for the song. Great decision on that. Let's listen to that track now.
Now,
please.
I want people to listen to the end of this, the lick that Joe plays on the end of it. And we'll have a contest. If you can figure out what he's playing, a variation of what he's playing, you'll win Joe's papoose.
No.
No? Okay. Oh, we'll figure out something else, like
We'll take that one back.
a color TV stand or something like that. But listen to the end and see. There'll be a contest later.
Come with the group in the song.
Yeah.
Let's listen to that track right now. Off of Silver Dollar, this is Frank Martin Gilligan. The name of this track, featuring Sarah Golden, Things Don't Ever Stay the Same.
Can't you feel a cold wind blowing, bearing down like a hurricane? One of us may soon be going. Things don't ever stay the same.
I know it isn't any wonder why I become a crying shade. I'm coming back now, out from under. Things don't ever stay the same.
They say nothing lasts forever. things don't ever stay the same. Without me, things don't ever stay the same.
Why do we always run for cover every time it starts to rain? I go one way, you go the other. Things don't ever stay the same.
They say nothing lasts forever without causing any pain. Sometimes always turns to never. Things don't ever stay the same. Don't ever stay the same. One of us may soon be going. Things don't ever stay the same. No, 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 no. Ooh, 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 yeah. Ooh, ooh, ooh.
Things don't ever stay the same. Frank Martin Gilligan, tell us a little bit about the ending of that song, Joe. You put a little hidden lead.
There's nobody has caught it yet, but that's
Maybe we
just the
should
way
leave it a
is.
mystery. See if somebody gets it. They'll
Yeah.
say, "Oh, I got it."
Well, I give them it's. I did 2 licks off of 2 British bands that were heroes of mine when I was a kid, and one's Richie Blackmore, and the other one's a British guy.
I like it. This will drive people crazy, and that's, of course, what we love to do.
And we move on.
Okay.
But did it fit or not? Did it fit?
Absolutely. Absolutely. And you were playing that little Tacoma Papoose at the end. It sounded so cool. Let's talk a little bit about the very next track, and this one won you an award.
It did. Well, it was there. You play 2 songs at Kerrville and also at the Wildflower Arts and Music Festival, and this was one of them. And it certainly resonated with the crowd. First and I think maybe only standing ovation I ever got. But it's a song from a story that I read on Facebook, and I'll bet you thousands of people that are listening right now have read the same story, but it was just so poignant. I thought it would make a great song about this old gentleman that was about to have lunch with his wife, but he had an appointment to get stitches taken out, and he explained to the nurse that he was having lunch with his wife. His wife was at the nursing home, and at this point, she had no idea who he was. So the nurse wondered why he wouldn't take this day for himself. He goes, "Well, it's because I remember who she is." And I thought, what a great sentiment that is. What a great compassion and commitment, and it just couldn't get any better. And that's where this song came from.
Off the Silver Dollar album, this is Frank Martin Gilligan. The name of this track, I Remember Who She Is.
When I came in this morning, she was sitting there with a smile on her face. She couldn't tell me where she was, but I imagined it to be a better place. A place where she is sleeping beauty, and I'm the one who wakes her with a kiss. Even though she can't remember who I am, I remember who she is. She's still the one I come looking for, to remind me why this life is still worth living. She's amazed me with her grace, and she's given me a lesson in forgiving. Long ago we made a promise, and I know that it's the least that I can give. Even though she can't remember who I am, I remember who she is. And now we find each other starting on another journey that neither one of us prepared to take. Through it all I never thought the lesson I'd be learning is how long it takes to watch your own heart break. One day into the next, it's the only way to try and move along. Still never knowing what the future holds, but certain I am right where I belong. And I know the days are growing short, for time is something no one can resist. It didn't turn out just the way we planned. The hourglass is running out of sand. Even though she can't remember who I am, I remember.
I remember who she is. You know, you can't help but be filled with emotion listening to the song.
I've gotten some reactions from that. So I've had people leave. That happened to me in Deadwood. I started playing the song, and this fella had to get up and leave. And, that kind of makes me feel bad, but, on the other hand, I mean, what are songs for but to elicit emotion? Okay?
I gotta tell you, when I mixed this thing, my wife and kids were in California on vacation. I was by myself. I had to listen to this song for 2 or 3 days. I was a wreck after 3 days of this. I had to take breaks because I was crying.
You see, it takes more than
not
one
crying,
listening
you're
to
crying.
get all. Yeah, it takes
Yeah.
a couple listens to understand
Yeah.
Oh,
the
gosh,
whole
yeah.
picture here.
Yeah.
Well, it's just something that I could explain the human condition in, at least a part of the human condition. And I'm, very proud I was able to do it. It's one of my crowning achievements, I think. Yeah, I don't think I'll ever get as deep as that one again.
From Frank Martin Gilligan's first solo record, All These Tracks, Silver Dollar, one of my favorite records, not only here on Songwriter Studio, but of all time. I really, really love this record. You brought in 6 new tracks.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to play as many of them as we can get around to during Songwriter Studio here. Now tell us a little bit about the first track we're going to hear.
First track is called "While I Still Think I'm Over You," and again, the genre's gonna set everything else on its ear. I thought I wrote a blues song until I played it for this fella here. He said, "That ain't blues, man. It's too many chords." So I said, "Well, what is it?" He goes, "It's a doo-wop song, you damn Yankee." So we went back and forth and back and forth. I said it's blues. He said it's doo-wop. It could be R&B, but we compromise. It's the world's first blue-wop song.
What's
So
the
I
name
want
of this track, guys?
"While I Still Think I'm Over You," baby.
Brand new music. Frank Martin Gilligan, along with Joe Gavito.
I gotta tell you, at first it hurt like hell, but after a million tears, you can hardly even tell that I was broken. You had to see it for yourself. Did you come back just to finish what you started? Did you think that I should be just a bit more broken-hearted? You better go now, while I still think I'm over you. Right from the moment I saw you walking through that door, I told my heart to settle down. Ain't going down that road no more, but it ain't easy when you're standing right here in front of me. What will it take to keep this feeling from returning? What can I do to stop this fire from burning? You better go now, talking second chances. No, baby, you know that ship has sailed. You don't know what to do when it ain't up to you. How does it feel to know you failed? Did you come back just to finish what you started? Did you think that I should be just a bit more broken-hearted? You better go now, while I still think I'm over you. Oh, yeah. You better go now, while I still think I'm over you.
Well, I still think I'm over you. Boy, what a great song.
Thank you, sir.
And the chord progression key changes through the whole song. You sure turned what could have been a very simple melody into an extremely complex R&B song. My compliments. Great guitar work, Joe.
Thanks.
Is that the same as we chewed up the scenery a little bit? Because we did that too. Yeah.
Frank, the vocals are soaring.
Oh, thanks, man.
That's definitely one fine song. Did somebody say hit single for this one?
Oh, well. From your lips to God's ear.
What next you got for us, guys?
Well, it's a ballad, and the story, we told you a little bit about this. It started out as a live recording, and it just, we captured some magic in it, just the two of us and our acoustic guitars, and we tried to recreate in the studio, but we put it even like we did it a half step lower, and it just wasn't doing it. And we had already got the drummer, and the bass was put on, and the fiddle player, Bobby Flores, played his parts. So we said, what are we going to do? So we attached what we did in the studio to the live recording. Now, Joe had to change tempos. He had to rearrange everything. He had to lift up the instruments a half step to match what we did live. And he did it all, and it's just mind-boggling how he made it happen. But it was an exercise. I put the challenge in front of him, and he accepted. And
I should never do that.
Yeah, don't ever do that again, Joe.
The challenge would be to keep the tempo the same without increasing it with the half step. Tell us a little bit about that, Joe.
Well, it's the whole. I mean, not only that, but the entire thing was faster or slower. I had to speed it up.
Well, let me tell you a little bit about the song itself, though. Okay, this song, I've never was able to write a good song about my dad, and that's how the germ of this idea started. So when you listen to this song, it could, you think it might be about an ex-lover who's either no longer on this earthly plane or you're no longer together, but it could be. The song is for everybody, and it's about anyone. It's their song, the song that they never got written for them.
What's the name of this track?
I Finally Found Your Song.
I Finally Found Your Song, brand new music. Frank Martin Gilligan.
I finally found your song. It was hidden in some rhymes I thought were gone for good. I'd really love to sing it to you if I could. You're not here to listen anymore. I finally found the tears that I couldn't cry the moment that you slipped away. Even though I knew we'd never see another day, and I'd never see you coming through that door. I finally found the word, but I haven't found a single one that doesn't hurt. And if you ever heard that time can take the pain away, it isn't true. No, it doesn't work. I finally found my voice, and I want the world to hear the things I have to say. I want somehow for you to tell me it's okay, and you forgive me that it had to take so long. I finally found your I finally found the word, but I haven't found a single one that doesn't hurt. And if you ever heard time can take the pain away, it isn't true. No, it doesn't work. I finally found my voice, and I want the world to hear the things I have to say. I want somehow for you to tell me it's okay, and you forgive me that it had to take so long. I finally found your song. Oh,
Frank Martin Gilligan, brand new music. I finally found your song. Great recording, great arrangement. Joe, you had your hands all over this one. All the guitar work.
Yeah, guitar and bass.
He used both feet too.
And drums.
Yeah,
No, actually, drums was Steve Allison.
Oh, okay.
correct.
Steve Allison played drums on that.
Talk a little bit about the Celtic song we're about to hear.
The song is called "Children of the Gale," and I wrote it a long time ago. And a friend of mine from Kilkenny, Ireland, is joining me on it. His name is Tomas Jackman. He's very popular over there. He's the gigginest musician I've ever seen over there. I try to go over every year. The pandemic has really screwed it up. But the song is about what we call the potato famine, but in Ireland it's called the Great Hunger, because the potato was the only crop that failed. So how do over 1 million people starve when only one crop fails? That's the big tragedy of the Great Hunger. There was a lot of evil things that happened, but it helped create our country. Look at all the Irish. In case you're wondering, I'm the Irish one. I'm very proud of this song. We put it out just in Ireland, and it seemed to get a great response.
The name of this track is Children of the Gale. Is that correct?
Correct.
Let's listen to that track right now. Brand new music, Frank Martin Gilligan.
not give a damn if we lived or if we died. They said, quit the land by sundown, or we'll put your men in jail. There wasn't any mercy for the children of the gale. We gathered what few things we had, we crossed the Irish Sea, got on a boat in Liverpool, my Bernadette and me, and I knew she'd never see the other side as we set sail. There wasn't any mercy for the children of the gale. Far away to something more, no more sorrow when we reach the other shore. And if we live to tell the day, we'll keep a candle burning for the children of the gale. How long had been our journey? Not a one of us could tell. We sent our prayers to heaven as we sailed straight through hell, and it seemed that for the longest time the devil would prevail. There wasn't any mercy for the children of the gale. Far away to something more, no more sorrow when we reach the other shore. And if we live to tell the tale, we keep a candle burning for the children of the gale. And now the seas of Ireland are scattered in the wind, with memories of the coffin ships and many other sins. So tell your children's children how they tried and how they failed to eliminate the Irish, the children of the gale. Far away to something more, no more sorrow when we reach the other shore. And if we live to tell the day, we keep a candle burning for the children of the gale. And if we live to tell the day, we keep a candle burning for the children of the gale.
Frank Martin Gilligan, Children of the Gale. What an intense song.
What an intense subject.
Yes. Have to study your history a little bit on that to understand all the details behind it.
There's many of us, even those of us with Irish surnames, who really have no idea what happened starting in way before 1845, but the famine, as we call it, was a disgraceful period.
If you're just tuning in, Frank Martin Gilligan is our guest tonight on Songwriter Studio, along with Joe Gavito. And thank you guys so much for spending an hour with us this afternoon. And tell us a little bit about the next track you chose.
You know, I felt I had to get some kind of song in about the pandemic. Oh, this is a co-write, by the way, of my friend Scott Southworth in Nashville. He helped me with this song. I didn't want to be all gloomy and doomy. Oh my God, what's going to happen? I thought let's just move on to past this and see what it's going to be like when we don't have this crisis in front of us. And that's what came out of this. This is called When We Come Out on the Other Side.
Brand new music, Frank Martin Gilligan. When We Come Out on the Other Side.
much better. All the worries and the tears we cry, you know they just can't last forever. No. Soon a healing rain is gonna fall, set our hearts and minds at ease. Sometimes it seems we never stand so tall. It's when we get down on our knees. Even the darkest night is over with the dawn. We'll open up our eyes to a brand new day. Let's keep the faith. We'll turn this page together. When we come out on the other side, take back the love that's been denied us. Maybe then we'll come to realize we've left these troubled times behind us. Soon a healing rain is gonna fall to set our hearts and minds at ease. Sometimes it seems we never stand so tall. It's when we get down on our knees. When we come out on the other side, oh yeah, everything's gonna be alright.
When we come out the other side, brand new music, Frank Martin Gilligan, with some tasty blues guitar.
Thank you.
Excellent blues guitar. Talk a little
We
bit.
just about covered all the genres so far, haven't
I
we?
think we've covered them all, from Celtic to blues to R&B to folk to ballads.
Django Reinhardt.
Django Reinhardt.
Yeah.
Joe, your guitar work on everything that we've heard so far is just superb.
Thanks.
Your
Thank you.
variety that you've learned over the decades, this is not something that comes easy. What's your work ethic? Do you still practice regularly?
Well, I play every day, so I guess that is kind of a practice. But,
Certainly it is.
but I'm in there. I've got other projects going on, so I'm constantly playing something. You know.
Frank, we're running out of time, and you've got pretty busy schedule. I know you guys have been playing quite a bit. If they want to check your schedule, where do they go? If they want to order an album, where do they go?
FrankMartinGilligan.com. You can order just about anything you've heard today. You can order on there, or it's on Spotify. You can listen on Spotify. It's on iTunes, CD Baby. Come visit us on our YouTube channel. We have our acoustic shows. You know, just plenty of ways to visit with us, but the most important way is to come out and see us live.
Get
Because-
an autograph copy.
There you go. That sounds like a good plan. I mean, you know, live music is essential to all musicians, you know, that feedback from the audience. So we'd love to see you. Go to frankmartingilligan.com, hit the calendar, and you'll see where we're playing.
Pam and James down in Galveston have been putting on their shows again. They moved from the Huntsville House Concert Series down to Galveston, and they gave me the schedule. And Cheryl Kaywood is playing there December 12th. So that's going to be a week from this Sunday or whatever night that falls. I believe that's a Saturday night. Please get out. And no, December 12th is actually a Sunday evening. So it's going to be a week after this airs. Please contact Pam at PAMMOON 41 at AIM KPFT.com. This is the Johnson Studio House Concert Series. Frank and Joe, Pam said to tell you both hello. She's going to be listening to this show.
You tell Pam we'll see her down in Galveston.
I think you just did tell her.
Uh-huh.
So anyway, you guys, thank you so much. We've got a little time left. What song have we got queued up?
Well, we have We Are Texas Strong. We had this little thing about 4 years ago called Hurricane Harvey. Remember that, Tom?
Devastating.
I know. Two of my brothers who lived in Dickinson, Texas, got totally flooded out. And I got to watch the whole thing on television from Ireland.
Oh, my gosh.
Right. So I'm watching CNN in Ireland, and my friends are saying, Frank, isn't that where you're living? And I said, 'tis. And so when I got back home, it was right on the tail end of Harvey. And thank God, up in Tomball, we were high and dry. But it was quite an episode for the great people of Texas. So this song is also to lift up the great people of Texas and what we're able to do in a crisis. And I had Libby Koch singing with me on this.
Libby's great.
And who we have? We had Bobby Flores playing fiddle.
Yeah.
And Tommy Dedamore was playing the steel. It's just a fun little song. It's an anthem, you know. And we're just, pretty proud of it.
We're going to go out with that track right now. We Are Texas Strong. And before we do, a big thanks to Lloyd Daniel for taking care of us week after week in the sound booth here at Songwriter Studios. And please stick around. Up next, we have Irish Airs, and followed by the Bluegrass Depot with our friends Joanna and Dalton. And please, if you like what you hear, we could always use your help here at KPFT. Go to kpft.org. Hit that tip jar. Donate money to Songwriter Studio. We come to you every week. We have for 15 years now, and we would like to stay on the air another 15 years. And don't forget to hit that tip jar, kpft.org, or just call 713-526-5738. Stick around for Irish Airs, and we will hear you next week. Frank.
We have one Tom Tranchilla playing on this next song. I just wanted to point that out to everybody.
We Are Texas Strong?
That's right. You listen for the harmonic, that little ding. That's definitely you, and you are definitely playing on this one. So,
thank you, Joe, for that. Thank you, Frank, for the plug. Stick around. Next week we'll be back, Songwriter Studio.
Something was cooking out in the Gulf of Mexico. We were getting ready for the start of the Third Coast Rodeo. Boarded the windows up, made way for the wind and the rain. The weatherman said we were cordially invited to a hurricane. So we said, bring it on. We seen it all before. I just never thought I'd ever see a boat pulling up to my front door. The rain kept coming down, didn't think it was ever gonna quit. The man on the radio said we ain't even seen the worst of it. But don't forget that we are Texas strong. We might get knocked down, but we ain't down for long. And when it's over, we can tell ourselves we're standing tall in Texas, wouldn't want to live anywhere else. If you remember this, you can cross 10 feet of floodwater off of your bucket list. They say what doesn't kill us only makes us stronger. I wouldn't want to see how strong we'd be if we had a rain to